Welcome back. Today we are in Vatican City and we are going to explore there with you and show you all around. Vatican City is located inside Rome and it is an independent country. The other independent small country inside Italy is San Marino, and we're going to visit there on our next episode. We like to stay in Torvaianica, where that red star is, on the beach, and then we drive about a half hour to the purple star, which is at EUR Palace of Port. And the blue circle shows our destination, which is Vatican City. The traffic is pretty rough, but we were able to make it to the metro station in EUR Palace Port. It's pretty easy to park there, but as you can see, it gets very full. So you might be parallel parking, or you might find a spot in the parking garage. So we got our tickets and got on the metro. Today we're going to get on the metro and take it into Termini Station, which is 9 stops, and then after that we're going to get on a different line at the Termini Station and take it to Ottaviano. Of course, you could take an Uber or a taxi or a bus, but we like the metro because there's no traffic, so that makes it nice. And then after we get off at the Ottaviano station, there's a little bit of walking. It's about 10 minutes, but that's the closest station, so we enjoyed the walk. There's plenty of places that you can buy souvenirs along the way. As always, make sure to get your tickets to the Vatican Museum early so that you definitely can get in to see it. Around the Vatican City, they have a wall, and there's one entrance to get into the museum. We had to walk beside the wall, follow everybody else, and go through the front. They have security, they have metal detectors. Make sure you don't have anything in your bags that could be questionable, and give yourself a little bit of extra time too, because once you get there, we had to exchange our tickets once we got into the museum. After security, there are bathrooms and a place where you exchange your tickets that you printed out online in order to get your real ticket. So we went and did that. As you see, for 4 adults and 2 children, it was €92. Just a heads up, even though the Vatican City is another country, they do not stamp passports, and make sure that you definitely have your identification, your passport handy, because they will check it thoroughly to enter. I love this winding ramp that we got to walk down to start our tour, and at the very top, you will see they also had a bookshop. Plenty of souvenirs. We got to enjoy some of the pinecone courtyard, as well as looking around at the outside. They had a lot of signs that helped to explain some of the different areas. And it was fun to be able to look at some of the different architecture. And then we went inside, and you will see inside the Vatican every single possible bust, statue that you could ever imagine. They had so many. It was almost like a warehouse, if you will, with the number of works of art that they had stacked all around. I think this would be a great time to get a tour guide. We did not have one. I think we would have gotten more out of it if we had, but even if you don't have a tour guide, just walking around and looking at all of these sculptures and thinking about all of the talent that it took to make them. Of course, they had signs explaining the different sculptures, where they came from, and many of them were such old antiquities. It was just super impressive. So you can go and see all. You could spend all day at the Vatican Museum. You really could. We got to look at not only the statues, but also the architecture on the inside, the domes, the paintings and frescoes that were done. It was very impressive. And I especially enjoyed this farm animal room that had so many different animals all over. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not a huge museum person, but we did look through a lot of the different rooms. As we were continuing on, there were signs that said this way to the Sistine Chapel, and it seemed like that's where most people were headed as well. We weren't the only ones. But just a heads up, when you get to the Sistine Chapel, it's not quite as serene as you might think. It was really neat to be able to, say I've been to the Sistine Chapel, and to look up and see the beautiful frescoes that were painted on the ceiling. by Michelangelo, but once you get to the Sistine Chapel, you are told in no uncertain terms not to take pictures. So you're kind of yelled at the whole time you're in the Sistine Chapel. You hear him saying, "No pictures, no pictures," and which is fine. I don't have to take a picture of everything. I understand it's a holy place. But it was hard to think serene thoughts when pretty much all security was ushering us through like cattle, trying to get us to stay in certain places and kind of get through and get out and not take pictures, which is fine. But I just wanted to give you a heads up. Right where we are now is the bookshop at the very end, because you did not get to see any of the Sistine Chapel, as I did not take pictures or videos, of course. There is also a food area where you can it's kind of like a cafeteria. You can get food there, and we did, and it was some yummy food. And then right after that, there is the outdoor area where you could actually take your lunch out there to eat, right there by the grass, or there are other places that you can buy food to eat. But now we are headed out. We are going to go follow the wall around to St. Peter's Square. And it's about a 15-minute walk, so hopefully you're wearing your walking shoes. The entrance is pretty easy to find because if you just follow the wall, you see those arches straight up ahead. Those are the arches that we're going to go through, and it's going to lead us straight into St. Peter's Square. On the left there you see the Carabinieri, which are the local police. There was always a good military and police presence around a lot of the different tourist attractions, and so that made you feel safe. And as always, there is no shortage of vendors and opportunities to buy plenty of trinkets, shirts, hats, all of that. There's no need for a ticket to enter St. Peter's Square here. It's quite lovely, actually. I wanted to show you walking past the pillars that go around the outside of the piazza here. If you plan your visit just right and get there early enough, most Sundays and Wednesdays, I believe the Pope speaks into the piazza. So that's something that I know a lot of people really enjoy. I guess the crowds do get pretty large there though, so it depends on how much you really enjoy crowds. We sadly did not get to go into St. Peter's Basilica because the lines were so long, but I am told it's free to enter. And if you're curious where the Pope lives, we were told that he resides on the top floor in these two rooms right here. As you walk down the street from St. Peter's Basilica, you will come to the place known as Hadrian's Mausoleum, or Castel St Angelo, and it is a really cool structure. It is circular. It reminded us a lot of the round castle that we visited in Majorca, Spain. Bridge over the water outside the castle takes you back to the main area where you would pick up your hop-on, hop-off bus if you took one of those. And right here you can see another view of the castle. There were plenty of people, vendors outside selling things, lots to look at, and we really enjoyed our day at the Vatican City. So as it was getting later in the afternoon, we decided to go back to our Airbnb at the beach and enjoy a beautiful sunset on the beach. At the end of this video, I have some bonus footage of what we saw at night on the beach. There was actually a fishing boat, we assume, very close to the edge of the beach where we were. So what do you think? Let us know what you think was going on in that video. Well, let's end today like we began it, with Rebecca handstand walking. I hope you all enjoyed our time in Vatican City. I know we did. And tomorrow, our next stop is going to be San Marino, the other country within Italy. I know you'll enjoy it. Ciao!
That's like literally where you were today, Rebecca. It's not that far out.